Okay, I'm Christine Baker, and my business partner and I, Nellie Holmes, we own Upper Canada Quiltworks and Quiltworks Studio. So we do a lot of wool applique, punch needle, embroidery, lots of handwork, needle felting. So what I want to talk to you today about is Valdani threads. So Valdani is a Canadian company. And I first started using Valdani because I was doing punch needle. And my first punch needle designs, I was using DMC or anchor floss. And if you've ever done any punch needle, you know most of the time you use 3 strands of embroidery floss. So I would chop off a piece of the DMC floss, which is 6 strands. Then I would separate it into 2 groups of 3 and then punch, thread my needle and punch with just that little piece. And then once it was over with, had to put another piece in and start over again. So when I discovered the 3-strand embroidery floss from Valdani, I was so excited to try it. So basically it's embroidery floss, but instead of being 6 strands like most different kinds of companies that you get, the skein is usually 6 strands. So they've come up with 3 strands, and it's on a ball. So all you do when you're doing punch needle is you thread your punch needle and just work from it right off of the ball. And you just keep punching and punching and punching until you're done with that color. Then you just take that color out and put your new color in. You never have to cut it to put it into the needle, and you can just keep using it right off of the ball. So that was a game changer for me, for that reason, basically, that you didn't have to cut and rethread over and over again, but also because of the colors that it comes in. So I wanted to show you a few different samples of my punch needle work, and I'm going to show you a few different samples of other things that we've made in our studio using Valdani thread. So this first sample was one of my first punch needle pieces, and this is using DMC floss. So you can see the green is all one shade of floss, the pink is all one shade of floss. The background is different colors. You can see, hopefully, that there's a bit of variation in there. And I achieved that by using 3 different colors, very close together, of a cream, ecru, sort of tan color. So I used those 3 pieces, and then I would chop off a piece, punch with that until I ran out, chop off another piece of a different color, punch with that until I ran out, and I achieved sort of a variegated look in the background. But when I found my Valdani flosses, I discovered that because they're hand dyed and they're variegated, they've got many more variations in the colors. So that background blue is one ball of floss. So you just keep punching and it comes out and giving you that variation in the background. That green scarf, the green and blue scarf, is one ball. So it has greens, blues, turquoises all in that one ball of floss. So it gives you a totally different look, and I love the look of it. So I basically switched right to Valdani with all of my patterns that I was doing, just because I loved it so much. So you can see in this guy, the blue of the peacock's head is all one ball. The red in here is one. This is kind of a neat one because it's got sort of a white, light blue, and a dark blue. And then the background, of course, is just one ball of floss. Same thing with this guy. So you can see that black is all the one ball of floss. Now, since I had such a good collection of the Valdani threads, the embroidery floss, when I started doing wool applique, I started using it for my stitching. So I don't know if on here, well, this one you can see. So the wheat strands here, you can see the variegation in that color. And Valdani does come in plain colors as well. I just personally love the variegated, but it does come in plain ones too. And I'm going to show you some of the different colors that we have in stock. But the variegated, I think, just really gives the piece something else. So here, in this embroidery along here, this fly stitch, you can see the variegations in the color with all of that. And so I usually use the 3-strand when I'm doing my wool applique, but most people, Nellie included, would use pearl cotton. I just use the 3-strand because I have pretty much every color going in my stash already, and I like using it for embroidery. But people will often use pearl cotton, so usually the 12 weight or the 8 weight to do their embroidery with, especially when they're doing wool applique. So you can do that as well. Here's one of our kits, our Upper Canada Quiltworks kits, and you can see, especially in this leaf, the differences in the color. I hope you can see that on there. Okay. And this one I wanted to show you because one of my COVID projects, so the COVID project I started last spring, I guess, was with Sue Spargo on her Instagram account. And she was doing, she called it a toned down circle sampler. So every day she was giving you a different circle, a 1-inch circle, and all the different embroidery stitches to create this sampler. So this is my sampler that I made. I didn't actually do all 90 circles, but I did do, I think there's 70 some here. And I had all these Valdani threads already here, and I couldn't really get anything else, so I decided to use them to do my circle sampler. So you can see in here, this is a picot stitch, and you can see all the different colors of the purple. This is the circle that I did on my 50th birthday, May 10th, so that's why it's embroidered around it. So the brown in here is sort of a brown, has like a dark brown, sort of a chocolatey brown to it, and then that's a pearl cotton, and then this is a pearl cotton as well in the purple. And then which one should I show you? This one here. So this is a palestrina stitch around the outside, and then those are bullion knots in the middle. Hope you can see that. And it's just really nice to use, just because it's such good quality. It's all hand dyed, and the colors are color fast. So that's the other thing, is that they're not going to dot. They're not going to fade on you if you get the Valdani threads, where some other kinds might. And I just really love the look of them, and I just love using them for pretty much everything. So we do have a bunch of kits or a bunch of sets that we have on our website. So first of all, we started out with the 3-strand Valdani sets that they have on their website. So this one is the heirloom collection, and I hope you can see, maybe if I take the plastic off. Oh, maybe I won't take, oh there. So I hope you can see the beautiful colors that are in that one. So that's the heirloom set. And then this is the European designer collection. So these are the first sets that I ever bought, and I just loved the colors. So you can see that one. And then when we started carrying all the colors, we decided that we would do up some sets of our own. So we came up with our own little sets. So this one is Nellie's collection. So those are the colors that she really loves to work in. And then this one is mine. So you can see mine's a little brighter. Nellie's usually a little darker in the stuff that she likes to do. So we complement each other. And then we had a girl working with us when we had our studio, and her name was Nancy. So this is Nancy's botanical collection. And then the one set that I came up with that really, it's funny, is our pretty much bestseller when it comes to all of the threads, is this. So this is our Brights collection, and these are amazing, bright, fun colors. turquoises and oranges, lime greens, bright reds. This one is a Stormy Seas collection. So these ones are all 3-strand embroidery floss. And then I'm going to show you some pearl cottons as well. And then this one is the Brilliant Sunset. So pinks, purples. And this one is Fabulous Fall. So they're oranges, browns, and golds. So once we started carrying all of the 3-strand, and I've got a little cabinet here that I put them all in. So I'm just gonna pick up one of my drawers and show you. So this is how we store them so that when we get orders, I can pick them out fairly easily. So you can see that's just sort of 25 or so different colors that we carry. So we have pretty much every color going in the 3-strand embroidery floss. Here's another drawer. Can you see all the, oops, that one just went flying. You can see all those ones. And then we decided that we would start carrying some of the pearl cottons. Now, the Valdani pearl cottons come in 3 different weights. So they come in 3, 8, 3, 5, and 8. No, try that again. 12, 8, and 5. So we have size 12 and we have some size 8. We decided to start with 12 because that is the size that Nellie really likes to use when she's doing wool applique. So we bought the 12s, we brought the 12s in, and then we had a few people looking for different weights as well. So we got some of their collections in. Now this one is called the Scrap Basket collection, and this one is a size 8. So you can see we had a customer special order this set in, and I just loved it when we got it. So I decided that we should carry it. So I ordered it in, or maybe you can see that better now. There we go. So there's that Scrap Basket. And then this one and this one. So these are the pearl cotton equivalents to the vintage hues. So that's the vintage hues in size 8, I think. Yep, that's vintage hues in size 8. And this is the heirloom in size 8. So then the other neat thing about Valdani is the colors are the same number across the way. So if you get an M81 in the 3-strand embroidery floss, and M81 in any weight of the pearl is going to be the same color. So if you're doing a project that needs different weights of the same color, you just get the same number and they will all be the same color. Or if you have one at home and you want to find, let's say, an 0244 and you really like this orange but you need it in a different weight, then you would just look up 0244 in pearl cotton and you can get it in different weights as well. So those are some of the different kits or the sets that we have. So we're having problems getting the Valdani threads in right at the moment just because of COVID. Quite a few of their colors are out of stock. So we have a lot of the 8. A lot of these sets are just in 8s because we've sold out of the 12s. I keep going online and trying to order pretty much every week. I look to see what's back in stock. They have changed the 8s to having a different core. So I think I have an open one here. So if you've had any Valdani before, you know it has this little cardboard piece on the end that gives you the number and the weight of the thread, and then the rest of it is open. Now the problem is that when you use up this thread and this little piece of cardboard is loose, then if you lose it, you don't know what color this is. So they've changed it and they're making cardboard cores that go all the way through the ball and on the end. So the number will be printed on the inside. So if you've used up the thread and this little piece on the end has fallen out, you're still going to know what color it is. So they've switched over and they have all their 8s available now with that new core in all the sizes. So I'm assuming they're just going to work their way through, and hopefully they'll do the size 12 next, because that's the color, the numbers that that we are waiting for. So we do have quite a few on our website that may say they're on back order, and that's why. So I am trying to order them, but we're having trouble getting them right at this moment. So I'll show you some of the colors we have. So these are all size 12. I'm going to try to hold it the best way so it doesn't all fall out. So there's some of the 12s that we have. Sometimes I come down and I just look and go through here and look at these because they're so beautiful. This one I think is my favorite. This is the 0550. It's a tealy blue with some light teals in it too. I just love it. So there's some of those ones. And then one of the newest things that we've brought in are the silk threads. And I've been using some silk threads with the Sue Spargo projects that I've been doing. She uses some different companies' silk threads, so I decided I would bring us in some of the Valdani ones. And they're just beautiful. They're so shiny and the colors are amazing. So we have we don't have all of them, but we have quite a few. There isn't as many colors in the silk threads as there are in the pearl cottons and in the Valdani 3-strand, but we do have quite a few. These greens are just beautiful. They make me think of seaweed, and there's the turquoise one, and this purple one is amazing as well. So I think that's all I wanted to say. So we have the sets. We have all of those sets that I showed you on our website, but we also have all of the individual balls on our website. Because there's so many colors of the 3-strand, I made the website so that all of this, the non-variegated, so these ones, so all of the ones that are not variegated, and you can see all the spaces in here, those are colors that we're waiting to get from Valdani. Hope there, one just went flying. So all of the non-variegated, so the solid colors, are listed on the website on one page. And then the different collections, so there's O numbers, so it'll be like 0535. There's some that start with M. There's some that start with V. There's some that start with P. And some that start with J. So each one of those is on its own page in our website. So that's a little easier than sorting through all of the different colors. And then the pearl cottons are on their own page as well. And you'll see the ones right now, I've just gone in, I think, and taken out that you can buy the 8s because we're having trouble getting them right at the moment. But if you have a color that you really want that you can't find on the website, then just email us and I will see if I can get it for you. We can't bring in all of the colors right at the moment, but I can put you on our list and I can see if I can order it in for you at some point in time. So if you want to have a look at that, it's on our website. So it's uppercanadaquiltworks.com. And like I said, if you go into the shop function, then look for Valdani threads, and then you can find all the different pages with the different types of threads on there. Valdani does have some sewing threads and other products. So because we have a wholesale account with Valdani, we can definitely order any of those things in. So if you have certain sewing thread that you need to get, or some type of machine embroidery threads, just let us know and we can order those in as well. And I think that's all I wanted to talk about. Yeah. So does anybody have any questions about the Valdani threads? It is a Canadian company. They're located in Edmonton, and that's another reason that we really like them. I think most of the threads are actually dyed in somewhere in Europe, but I can't remember where. But Valdani itself is a Canadian company. So I have noticed on some of the US websites that the prices on their Valdani are quite a lot higher than our prices. And I think that's because of the shipping and the converting and all of that. So if you want to buy Valdani, it's best to buy it from a Canadian company. So if anybody has any questions, I see there was some... Oh, sure. Go ahead.
You definitely sold me on Valdani threads. Thank you. And I am interested in your circle sampler. It was beautiful.
Oh, do you want to see it again?
Who taught you that?
So it was Sue Spargo. So her website is suespargo.com. And she does a lot. Her whole thing is amazing embroidery. So what she did, because at the beginning of the pandemic, she wasn't really teaching or anything either. She did this amazing thing, and on Instagram, she had this 90-day program, and every day she would give us like one circle. I'll see if I can hold it up closer. So she would give us one circle a day, and she would have videos on the different embroidery stitches. She has a book called Creative Creative Stitching. So you may have seen that before. Creative Stitching. So it's Sue Spargo. So she has this book, and the instructions in here are amazing for doing all the different embroidery stitches. And then she put a video up. Like every day there would be a different stitch. So she would tell you how to do that picot stitch, which is this one, which is my least favorite stitch, I think. Oh, and then the bullion stitches. These are cast on bullion ones here. So every day she'd have diagrams, and she would tell you what kind of her threads you would use, what weight of thread, what type of needle you needed to use. It was amazing. Like I loved it, because I had done blanket stitching and straight, like all these different types of basic stitches, but I had never done anything really that interesting. So I loved it. And now I'm working on her cuppa project, which is 9 blocks, and it's all cups. So like coffee cups and tea cups. And there's all sorts of different types of embroidery on it. And it's amazing. She's got a few different block of the month programs that are going right now. And if you go on her website, and I think it's under tutorials, you can see all the videos that she did. So if you want to figure out how to do some crazy stitch, she's got all these tutorial videos on there. It's amazing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, do you carry her book?
We do. Yes, we do. Yep.
Okay.
It's on our website.
Good. I'll be on it.
Okay. We also have lots of the needles too. So depending on what stitches you're doing, like if you're doing bullion knots, you need to use milliner's needles. Oops, I'm caught. There we go. So if you're doing like different stitches, you'll need like a milliner's needle. French knots. I always did French knots, and they never looked right because I was using the wrong needle. So if you use a milliner's needle, your French knots look beautiful. So we've got the size 1, and then this is all the different sizes. And then chenille needles are what you would do most of your basic stitching with. So any like blanket stitching or back stitching, chain stitching, that kind of thing, you'd use a chenille needle. So just depends on what size your thread is, which size of needle you need. So it goes through, and it will tell you that on her videos and in her different books too. She has many patterns and beautiful books that she's produced, and if we can order all of those in too. So if you are on her website, shipping from her, I've had some things delivered to her, and you end up paying an amazing amount of shipping, and then you have to pay customs fees when it comes across the border. So if you see any of her books or patterns that you really like, we can order those in too from our wholesaler.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Does anyone else have any other questions?
We do. We're just wondering. So my 7-year-old and I are sitting here. We're wondering, do you have the punch needle kit? Do you have one that you recommend for us to do?
Yes. So actually, did you watch my punch needle video that I just did this morning?
No.
We missed it. So I actually taped it while I did it, and I just put it on our YouTube video, or on our YouTube channel. So if you go there, it's up there already. But yeah, I just produced a punch needle course. So it's online, and you just proceed at your own pace. And a 7-year-old can definitely do punch needle. You just have to be a little careful with the needle because it is really sharp, but it's quite easy to do. And I had 2 a grandma, a mom, and 2 granddaughters come to a class once, and I was all worried that the granddaughters would need a lot of help. It was those 2 that did better, and I was helping the grandma and the mom more than the other 2. So I was quite surprised. But yeah, I on my video that I did just before, I talk about all the different products and the punch needle that I use, and we have a starter set on our website too. So that's the one that I use. It's the Ultra Punch. Okay. And then we have all the supplies. So the weaver's cloth and the threads and everything that you need is on there.
Okay. But is there an actual kit that you would recommend?
Yeah.
Like something?
Yeah. So I recommend, we have a starter set right on the website.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Well, that's great. Thank you for joining, and I hope you guys are enjoying Quilt Canada. See you soon.
Thank you.